Yo, man, I'm gonna give everybody's watching Facebook, Instagram, give a round of applause. Try to reach me back. Try everybody chiming in right now. Got my man, Mr. Troy Taylor, in the building. So let the people know, let the people know who you are, where you from, what the fuck you do, baby.
Okay, so my name is Troy Taylor. I am a writer, arranger, producer, executive, vocal producer, artist developer of 30 years. This is my 30th year in the game, and I'm just getting started.
That's what I'm talking about, man. First and foremost, before we get this interview started, I want to say happy birthday to Mama Taylor, evangelist. Was it Sharon Winfrey?
Sharon Winfrey, yes.
Congratulations.
April 5th, 75 years. Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. That's what's
Blessing.
up. There's a lot of people out here that I'm seeing during this quarantine time and this pandemic. They losing family members, friends. Is no game out here. So, you know, I always say I call my mother ever so often, like, "Ma, you okay?" Because you got to check up on your peoples, especially New York. The epicenter is crazy out here, man. So
it's really crazy.
Go to your mother, man. All day, I'm gonna take a drink for your mom for her 75th birthday. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No doubt. All right. So the mayor of R&B, right? So here at NoAdvisory, you know, I do unorthodox interviews. I kind of look what other people ask. I don't like to do the cliche shit.
Right.
I don't do that. So the mayor of R&B, right? So I want to know when did you first fall in love with R&B, or just music in general?
When I was 2, 3, in kindergarten. You know, in kindergarten, actually in nursery, when you're in nursery school, they have the radio on, like, you know, slow, you know, softly playing. I just so happened to be one of them kids that always remembered hearing certain songs on the radio that I didn't know until I got older. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. They used to play that in the nurseries, you know, and it would be Isley Brothers, Stevie Wonder. It would be soulful, you know, R&B that, you know, was on the radio. And as I got older and started learning those names, you know, I would then dig deeper into their albums and became a collector of all the music.
So I know before I was reading that before you turned 21, you were signed with Motown. So producing wasn't actually your first thing. So what made you when you got to deal with Motown, what made you say, hey, I want to be a producer and stay in kind of like the R&B realm?
Well, I started off as an artist, signed to an independent label, then got bought off to Motown, and then I started working with these kids, you know, these young kids that were amazing, and just working with them and then seeing, they were on Motown as well, working with them and then seeing them blow all the way up made me rethink, like, I could do what I love and don't have to be the front person at it. Like, man, because one thing about being an artist that a lot of people don't understand is when you sign up to be an artist, you have to sign up to make sure that your personality and who you are as a person is ready for this industry that cares nothing about you. Right. So if I'm a real person, and I've always been, I don't sugarcoat. I don't do the industry talk. If I'm on the radio doing an interview and they ask me something and they try to be funny, because, you know, sometimes they like to pick at you to see how you handle it, I'm going to mess up and say something slick, and it's going to mess up my spins. So I figured my personality isn't made to be an artist, because I won't play the game right, and I'd rather just be behind the scenes, create, develop, and work at my own pace, move how I want to move, and I'm good.
Right. And I like how you try to be so subtle with it when you say, you know, I work with these kids, right? Like, I know who the kids are, right? But who's the kids?
I'm sorry. I always forget to conclude that part of it. Those kids went on to become Boys to Men. And so after seeing them, like, become multi around the world, I'm like, I'm good. I could do what I love, and I don't even gotta, I can just be right here and just do what I love. I don't gotta go and dance on the stage and No thanks.
That's what I'm talking about. Guys like he's saying this subtle, like these guys didn't sell millions of records, and then when I be in the that's not one of my favorite groups. When I be in the shower, I'll make love to you. Come on, Mr. Taylor. Now you know, being in quarantine, like I see everybody going live, doing live producing battles, hip hop battles. DJ, shout out to DJ Nice, who be killing. I be loving his set when he be going on there. I be actively tuned in. So they had a recent set. It was with Neo and Jay Austin.
John Tay.
But Jay Austin was somebody that you work with heavily. So
that's my little brother. Yes, sir.
First of all, who do you think won that battle? And second of all, how did you and Jay Austin come in terms of working with each other?
First of all, Jonte won. Like that is not a misunderstanding. Jonte won that mainly because people automatically thought Neil was gonna waste him. And not only was I right by my brother to make sure he played it how he needed to play it.
Right.
You know, I was right there. But I knew, listen, it's simply like this. Jonte started when he was 15 writing. By the time he was 17, he had wrote Sweet Lady with me. Before that, he did Get Gone for Ideal. While that's going on, we're talking about 1997, 96, 97. Neo wasn't out at all. And then by the time those hits came and come into the 2000s, Neo was on Def Jam for 4 years before he even came out. So you're going back, way back, to Tony Braxton, Just Be a Man About It, to Aaliyah, Come Over. Neo wasn't even around then. So I'm like, this is not going to even be fair when these people hear who Jonte Austin is. Now, out of respect, you know, Jonte always loved Neo. I remember when Neo came about and when he started, you know, especially So Sick of Love Songs and Just Let Me Love You. Jonte was a fan because he liked the way Neo told stories. And that's what Jonte does. And so there was always a respect for each other since then. You know what I mean? So, but I knew that he was, I know he was.
Shout to both men.
No. It's great, but
you know,
he won definitely. Cause look, there was one song that Neo was stumped. He was like, "I didn't know you did that." It was a Aaliyah song. He was like, "See that right there? That's 20 points right there. Like you didn't even know he did it. Oh man, you know." So yeah, he definitely won.
And that's a perfect segue to my next question. Because you know, you got in the music industry is so broad, you got so many writers, so many producers and things of that nature. A lot of these hits are that people don't really know that people are accounted for. Like you got a plethora of hits. I'm gonna get into that. We're gonna play a game. See this paper here? Be very afraid. I'm gonna do your own stuff, you know. But speaking in terms of like having hits under your belt and these songs that's out. My question to you is, what is one song? Because I saw that Tyrese had a post about how Sweet Lady came about, touching on that as well, and how he didn't really even want to do that song. So my question to you was, what is one song that is a hit that you didn't even want to do, but it became an instant hit?
I don't have one of those because I want to do everything. No, I can't say there's a song. Now, wait, but I not necessarily a song that I personally did, but because Trey Songz is my artist, I could say there's a song that I didn't like and care for that was a single for him, and I didn't care if it did good or not. I still don't like it. I could say that. I didn't do the song, but you know, he's my artist and I'm overseeing the album at that time. And I remember it being a single that he came out with that I didn't like. But nothing that I've done that I was like, dang, I wish hate that song.
Right. Okay, yeah, because I was looking at that and then it just seems like a lot of times when you making music, some of the songs that
Oh,
you
wait. Someone said LOL smiley face. Nope. I'm glad I did that song.
they try to figure out
Nope.
which song it was. They try to
No, I guess they're saying, LOL smiley face, but I'm very proud of that song because, yo, check this out. All right, let me tell this story real quick because they mentioned LOL. Now, at that time, me and a writer named Chef Tone, we decided to do something real slick. And what we were doing was towards the record company. Okay. So when we did LOL Smiley Face, we were known as Fisher Price. But no one knew who Fisher Price was. No one knew. Like, we made them up. It was these two guys from Canada that got money and they're cool. They don't care about the record company. They don't care about the music business. So we had this thing going to the point where the label didn't know how to get in touch with these guys. LOL Smiley Face, regardless of what anybody says, was starting to become all over the place. Because at that time, Trey did it for the kids. He didn't do it for his fan base. He did it for the kids he missed when he came into the game because he was always a little bit more mature. So it started taking off and it started going, doing well. But Atlantic was kind of ashamed of it because it wasn't it was kiddie.
Kiddie, right.
But here's the contradiction. While they're calling, saying they don't like it, they're texting somebody and talking regularly during the day, and they'll put LOL. So you're contradicting yourself. You use LOL, stop it, cut it out. So anyway, when it started doing well, the label was trying to figure out who is Fisher Price. So they're hitting me up, asking me if I can get in touch with them to talk to them and possibly do some more songs. But they didn't know that I was Fisher. No, actually I was Price. Okay. I was Price. Chef was Fisher. So when it started doing it actually started doing well. I didn't want them I wanted to prove a point to say, don't put me in a box.
Right.
Don't put me in a box now. But when it came out, people started reading the credits and they looked at it. They saw Soulja Boy, they saw Gucci Man, they saw Trey, they saw me. Wait, who's missing? They saw Chef. There's two other people missing, and that's when they started figuring out who's Fisher Price. Man, when I finally released that, a lot of people was like, "You did that?" Like,
wait,
no, don't put me.
You didn't have was there beef with the actual Fisher Price brand with you using that name?
You said what?
Was there any kind of
because it never got Chef Tone. It never got to that point because he quit. It was like we proved the point. He wanted to stop. We had 3 records on the radio. We had LOL Smiley Face. We had Here Kitty with Plies and Trey songs, and then there was another kid named Trevante. I forget the name of the song, but we had 3 songs on the radio as Fisher Price. So it was like, yo, let's keep going. He didn't want to keep going. So it never got to that point where, Fisher Price is pretty upset with your using their name. So it never really got there.
Gotcha. That's dope, man. Thank you for sharing that story, man.
I've actually never shared that story, actually.
Oh, listen. I don't know what it is about NoAdvisory podcast, but we always get motherfuckers first. So I like this another motherfucker first. I'm rather calling myself. I ain't got my team here with me, but I'm rather calling myself. So let's jump into another question. So I saw that you did an interview. It was a podcast. Her name was Sandy. What's the name of the podcast? IDM, I think podcast. IDM podcast, was it? And y'all was talking about new school R&B as opposed to the old school R&B and how things intertwine now. So I just want you to tell for the watchers, what do you feel is like the pros and cons of R&B in today's R&B compared to back then R&B? What's the pros and cons that you, as a producer?
It's really simple and it's understandable. The kids of today, they love R&B. They love R&B, the 90s R&B. They sample it. They listen to it. They grew up on it. Their parents played it. And they love it naturally. But because they don't, most of them don't play keys, they don't know how to make it. And so you got you got FL Studio, which a lot of kids use, and they get a lot of loops, and they put the loops together and they put the beat under it, and it's hot and it's, you know, but then it becomes one big just giant loop, and they write to it, and it becomes a hit or whatever, but it goes nowhere musically.
Right.
And the one thing about a good R&B record is the changes and transitions. You know, the bridge is supposed to do something to you. The harmonies are supposed to do something to you. And they don't know how to do it. So they just stop at, you know, 1 or 2 chords and say repetition, 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 same thing over and over and over and over again. And that's 2 minutes and some seconds and it's over.
Right.
So what I did as mayor of R&B, and this is why, this is my campaign, is to insert myself into the generation of now and show them, take their tracks and add to it to show them how it can progress and develop into, you know, harmonies, bridges. And that way I'm not stripping them down of the style that they love. I'm only adding to it so that it's not belittling. Because a lot of people from my generation has a belittling attitude towards it. I don't, because when I was growing up, my generation, the generation before, said you know, when New Jack Swing started and Teddy was using dirty kicks and snares and compressing it. That was my generation. The generation before felt like that's noise, you're distorting, your kicks are distorting. And they're like, no, it's hitting. It's like, no, that's not good. That mix is terrible. So I remember how the generation before me treated me. So now here I am, OG. I'm not going to do that because I know the reason why there are no changes. They don't know how to do them. So I know if they know how to do them, they would. So my thing is, I just get in there, roll my sleeves up and say, listen, let me add a bridge to this.
Right.
Once they hear it, yo,
it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Right. So who was one of your favorite new artists R&B wise that you feel is going to be the next one that you, if you had to put a stamp on their name as this is going to be the next new R&B artist coming out? New. Who is it and why?
Oh man, that's hard. Let me tell you why that's hard. Because these kids now, mentally, they don't know how to handle. It's weird. They know how to be on their IG and do what they want to do on their IG. But when it comes to interacting, performing, standing on stage, articulating, they fold.
Right.
So it's like, on one hand, your music is a star, but your personality is not.
Right.
And I ain't never seen so many people with mental issues on such and such can't finish their show and they're having a breakdown. What? What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean breakdown?
I got to drink to that.
I don't get it. They can't finish their tour because their voice is not right. What do you mean? You vocal coach, like warm-ups. I don't get it. So I say that to say there are a couple of people that I really do like for their music, but I can't do it all around because they still haven't gotten that performance part of it down.
Gotcha.
So that would be Summer Walker. Because I do love her music, and I believe that she is a talent. Like she represents a type of woman that there are a lot of that can relate to her. I'd say I'm gonna have to mess you up and just say go to Devin Culture because he's not known yet, but I'm developing him. So Devin Culture he's the next Maxwell. I'm saying it right now. He's a young Maxwell, and rightfully so. I will prove it. His name is Devin Culture. At Devin Culture. Yes, sir.
Write that down. All right.
Young Maxwell, I'm saying it now. Another artist that I'm developing, Edward Beck. Nobody knows these guys, but these are who I'm developing. And so Edward, his IG is RNB Trooper, BNTROOPA. And I'm working on he's more urban, a mainstream, like a Chris or August Alsina, kind of in that zone. Devin is young soul. So I'm working on them too, and developing them and bringing them out. I'm still old school with the artist development because, again, for that same reason, mentally preparing them for what they say they want to do. And this music industry is not exactly what people think it is. So I understand why the mind does that, but someone should have prepared you for it. And so I'm sure there's somebody I'm missing. Yeah, I can't think right now.
And it's funny that you said that. I'm gonna plug my thing in Training Day CLT every Mondays we have out in Charlotte. And when you said artist development, and this wasn't even the question I had, it's just hearing you talk and just tapping onto that.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
My bad.
Go ahead. Got it.
Lucky Day. Freaking Lucky Day. Now it's coming back. Now it's coming. Okay. All right. My bad. I was a little slow. Lucky Day. Ari Lennox. Freaking.
Oh, yes.
Freaking, what's his name? Dang it. Lucky Day, Ari Lennox. I got it begins with an A. What's his name? Tone Stiff, but Doodles. I mean, Tone is amazing. Kevin Ross, of course, one of my proteges. I'm sorry, I'm a little lagged, but Kevin Ross.
Good, man.
What's his name? I can't think of his
mention their name. They're like, how you didn't do the interview? You didn't say my name. I'm mad at you.
Nah, it's just that these are people that I can listen to. I can listen to their voice. I can especially it's what's his name? Dang it. He's funky like
Ay coño.
Anyway, all right. That I at least I got them out.
Listen, if it comes back to you, just blurt it out, and I'm gonna know what you mean.
Yeah.
So speaking in terms of artist development, I'm gonna plug my joint Training Day CLT every Mondays in here in Charlotte. But a lot of artists don't get the development aspect portion of it because they see Instagram and they feel like, okay, if I do something on Instagram, I'm popular, and then if I get booked for a show, then what? So how do you feel like the artist, I know, is lacking? So do you feel like that's one of the main reasons why a lot of artists today aren't as successful as they were back in the days because of lack of artist development?
Yeah. Yeah. How to walk into a room. How to sit.
Right.
How to articulate yourself.
Right.
How to have that pop. Because that's not, I don't care. The record industry doesn't want to pay for artist development anymore. But that doesn't mean they don't look for those same things that they used to develop. Right. So if no one tells you how you walk into a room matters, oh my gosh. Listen to me, people, all the people watching right now. How you walk into a freaking room matters. Before the music is even played, what you wear matters. How you stand matters. How you even sit matters. I'm trying to tell you, the way you put yourself together, and the record exec will look and go, okay. Right. All right. Now, after that, when they press play, if your music doesn't say what you look like, it'll be like right. Damn it. So we have okay. However, let's reverse it. You look a mess. You came in. You don't even look put together. You don't even know what you didn't wear the right whatever. You're slouchy when you walk in. You slouch in the chair when you sit down, and you press play, and the music is amazing. Right. They'll still go, right. But they need something to market. Right. So either way, and then while I'm on this, everyone knows that your IG is your resume. If you hit me up talking about some, hey, can you listen to my music? The first thing I'm doing is going through your pictures and going through what you post and your music. I'm not gonna go to what you want me to listen to. I'm going through your IG. If I'm not interested in your IG, I'm not listening to your music. And I am not the only one. The music industry does that.
Right.
The way you look like, you know, how you know, just what you post, like everything matters now. And so since social media is ruling, you got to use it properly.
Right. So it's kind of like the social development is like, take heed, guys. Your social media is your development within your development.
Yes.
Even though putting marketing money into your development, your social media, they expect that to do that on your own. So by the time you get there, they look at you, you're a finished product, put the music out, let's go.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So speaking in terms of that, who do you in the industry, because a lot of people get this, I'm going to say stigma, but they get the perception like people in the industry don't have that work ethic. They just nice and they go put out a record and that's it and it blows. So for you working with all these artists, who in the industry that you work with has the best work ethic? It could be somebody underground, somebody's coming up, out there already. Who that you work with like, yo, they work ethic probably outmatch anybody in the industry or beyond?
Devin Culture, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Ross, Jonte Austin,
Mm-hmm.
Trey Songz.
Mm-hmm.
His work ethic is amazing. Let's see, who else? A group called Next Town Down that's in LA. They're on RCA actually. Let's see. I will say Jacquees.
Shout out to Jacquees.
I will say him when he locks in.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get him focused first, you know. Gotta lock him in. Gotta lock him in first.
Focus. Okay. All right.
But when he's on, he's
on. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll stop there. I'm
okay.
Still looking for this one last person. Her too. Her. I meant to say her. Her is amazing.
All right. Yeah.
Love her. I'm still this one more person. Also another artist that's amazing work ethic. Since we was on that, Bobby Storm, she's amazing. Like a voice of, her voice is actually, it's so. Some people are so dope that it's going to take a little longer before the world catches up.
Right.
And she's one of those amazing artists that her music, she just has to catch up. Time has to catch up with her because she's so dope. Sometimes you could be too dope. There is a such thing as being too dope. Right. There's another person. I was looking on my thing like
I said, if it comes to your head, just blurt it out.
Yeah. Like, okay. No, I'm sorry. Okay.
Like I caught it. You good? I'm like I caught it. So you say,
okay.
Caught it. All right. So there's a lot of debate. Like me and a friend of mine, we be having this debate. Who's the king of R&B? Right. So there's always this great debate. I want to know from you, this is kind of like a two-part question, right? So for you, who do you feel is the king of R&B? And the second part of the question is, who do you feel defines R&B the best? So it's a two-part question.
As mayor of R&B, I'm going to say this.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
I'm going to say this.
Okay.
First and foremost.
All right.
I feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
The king of R&B to me has messed himself up and dethroned his own self.
Ooh, talk to him.
Because of his past, personality, and the things that he was doing outside of music.
Okay.
He has dethroned himself.
I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to let you say it.
You already know who I'm talking about. We say him.
Okay.
His music is not muted, but to respect everyone and how they feel, I just say him.
Okay. All right.
Because my guy was on the path
Mm-hmm.
Right behind him,
Mm-hmm.
and even he himself has said,
Uh-huh.
young man, I know, I see what you're trying to do, but you need to let me help you do it. When he
Okay.
said that, that let me know, oh, so you acknowledging the fact that he did it. That you just want to do your version, you want to put your song on him, and that's understandable, but
Mm-hmm.
you have just acknowledged and subliminally passed the torch because he came out and did exactly what he was supposed to do. So, going back to a classic movie called Juice,
Uh-huh. Y'all love that movie.
at the end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
when old boy fell off the building,
Okay.
there was one kid that said, "You got the juice now." So,
Okay.
my king of R&B is Trey Songz. Now, I'm working
Okay.
on the 8th album with him. He'll be back. I understand what people can think and say. At first, I
Mm-hmm.
was going to be political and say there are no kings of R&B. Everybody's a
Right.
king. Everybody's a queen of R&B. But I'm going to make this a little saucy. I'm going to say it straight up. To me, Trey's the king of R&B because he was next in line. Now, some people would say Usher and some people would say Chris. And the reason why I don't say Usher or Chris is because they superseded R&B.
Okay, yeah, they crossed over to different.
They crossed over. They're big. They're actually bigger than R&B. Even though they do R&B, they're actually bigger. And that's not to say Trey's not big, but
Mm-hmm.
they're bigger than R&B. So I don't put them just R&B.
Right.
Because they went past R&B. So that's why I don't say Usher or Chris, because Trey loves R&B. He never really wanted to cross over. That was never a desire for him. He could have, but he never focused on crossing over. He loves R&B. That's where he's at. So to me, he's still going. He will be back. So to me, that's the king of R&B. Now, I often say this. You cannot tell people how they should feel about themselves.
Right.
If they say they're the king of R&B, then that's their business. You don't have to agree.
Right.
So I say that about Jacquees. I mean, he said, I'm the king of R&B for my generation.
Right.
Well, his generation are hip hop and rappers.
Mm-hmm.
So he is the king of his R&B of his generation. He don't got no competition.
Right. Respectfully.
So I get it. Right. I wish I could read what's going on, but it's sideways.
I can see people saying R. Kelly, Trey, you got the Jew. They just commenting. They just going.
Somebody said, I thought Trey was a gospel artist when he came out. They said he got to make it. What? He just got to make it. You ain't see the video? He didn't say, I got to make it, Lord. He ain't say, I got to make it, Lord.
Sometimes you excuse people for what they say.
It's cool. So that once again, I have never spoken that out. I never put it in that way. I never said it that way. I never told anybody. Like I said, I would normally say, you know what? I think if you feel like you're the king of R&B, then you're the king of R&B. You know what I'm saying? Like no one can tell you that you don't have to agree with them. Right. But if they but me, nah, Trey Songz.
Like Kevin Hart says, yes.
Final answer.
Trey Songz, final answer. I'm a man at that answer. Me personally, right. I know the guy you talking about, referring to. That was my pick because I'm like, regardless of what happened in his personal life, I'm still going to listen to what that person has to say. So I didn't give a damn about that. But in second hand, shout out to Trey because backstory to that, I grew up in Rutland Road, 903, 93rd Rutland Road. Trey Songz was doing songs with the rapper named Flawless at the time, back in 93rd Rutland. So I met MC back in the days. I'm like, who's this kid? His hair was all wild and shit. But yo, he was incredible as fuck. Like he was real rugged R&B like back then. So I'm like, yo, this dude he's easy. So while I watched his career transcend, so from then to now, I'm like, yo, as far as R&B is concerned, when you listen to a song, you want to pop that in and you have your lady and you want to wine and dine and get freaky nasty, Trey Songz is that dude. You feel me? So, okay, I can attest to that answer. I give you that. I give you that. So, The second part to that question, to you to answer that one, who do you feel defines R&B the most? I know you said Trey is the king, but who do you think defines that mantra the most?
Him.
Okay, there you go.
Him. He's, to me, he is the example of what an R&B artist, songwriter, and producer is in the essence of R&B. Every song he has expressed, every type of song, from heartbreaks to sadness to inspiration, he's embodied every type of R&B song, sexually, love, and he's done it. Now, again, I don't hold a person who they are off the record for the music that, you know, their business, because there are a lot of artists out there that are screwed up and we don't know about it.
That's true.
A whole lot, a whole lot. And when people say, well, I don't like him because he did da. Look, you at one point were dancing, singing along with it before you knew what was going on. Right. So if that's the case, you're guilty too. Don't, oh, now you found out, now you want to be this. You know, right. Nope, you're going to have to, if he's got to take it, you got to take it too, because you at one point was going hard for it. So don't stop now. The music is the music. Who you are as a person. So, yeah, I said what I said.
I said what he said. It's on record, NoAdvisory podcast. You know what it is. My man Troy Taylor say, trigger. So, next question. I want to get into these. Okay, next question. I want to play a few games. That's cool?
Okay.
All right, so next question. Talk about Songbook. Let's talk about Songbook and TTU. Let's talk about those. Songbook Entertainment and TTU. Talk about those for a quick moment.
Okay, so Songbook is my label. Before you get to Songbook, you got to go through TTU. TTU is the artist development stage. So Troy Taylor University, you got to go to Troy Taylor University if you want to get to Songbook. Plain and simple.
There you go. There you go. All right. So that was quick and simple. I was expecting some elongated answer and shit like that. All right.
Nope.
So let's get to the game. All right. So shout out to everybody who's watching. So we're gonna play this game called Troy Faves. Okay. So first question: favorite R&B song of all time.
Favorite R&B song of all time? I mean, I would answer this question and say one of them, because I can't say my favorite because there's too many. Okay. Ribbon in the Sky.
Ribbon in the Sky. Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's an old school. A lot of millennials ain't gonna know about that. You have to Google that.
I mean, yeah. Ribbon in the Sky, Stevie Wonder. My bad.
Ribbon in the Sky. All right. Your favorite produced song.
My favorite producer?
No, your favorite producer.
You said that's that I produced.
That you produced, yes. Your favorite.
Oh, okay. One of them is "Why I Love You" by B2K.
Ah, okay. That's just one of them. You said one of them. There's another one.
Yeah, because I got too many.
Oh, so that's your favorite.
Sweet Lady's the top. But I was just, like I said, I don't want to do the obvious. I want to do "Why I Love You," because I don't talk about that much. You know what I'm saying? Sweet Lady I talk about all the time. But "Why I Love You" is one of my favorites.
Okay,
yep.
Gotcha. Your favorite R&B group or singer no one heard before?
No one heard before?
No one heard before. Your favorite R&B group or singer that no one heard before?
Oh,
I gotta make you
because
think.
I mean, because I say that because they tried and either the label folded or they got dropped before they even came out. Ooh, that's a good one. That no one's heard before.
No one heard before. That'll make you think.
Yeah, because and it's because it's tricky. Because no one's heard before because they didn't get a chance to finish, but they got started. So they were heard, but they weren't heard all the way.
Wait. Okay. Who was that?
Or I started with them and they messed up, and so I left them alone.
That too. But
So
your favorite.
but I wouldn't even give him shine though.
Like, yo,
I can't think of anyone. That's a good one. You got me on that one.
pass. All right,
I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
All right. So your favorite R&B record that wasn't produced by you.
Oh, my bad. Someone, thank you. Someone just reminded me that I can't say they haven't been heard, because they have a little bit and then they fell up, then they kind of like politically or just Brandon Hines. Brandon Hines. Right. Oh my gosh. Hines, yeah. Yo, talk about a talent, a voice. Brandon sound just like Brandon Hines. He had no voice. His voice sounded like nobody. I spent a lot of time working, developing him, and he just mentally didn't hold it together too well.
So for the people that just chimed in, so Brandon Hines is your favorite person
that no one's heard.
Okay, Brandon Hines. All right. So did we get back to did you answer your favorite R&B record not produced by you?
It's many. There's many. But my favorite that's not produced by me, I would say, "Let Me Love You."
Let me
Mario.
love you. Let me be the one to.
That's a good record.
That's my shit. I like that. Okay. All right. Your favorite moment in music, period.
Favorite moment in music, period, is working with Aretha Franklin. Nothing in my career. The only thing that comes close to that is working with Whitney.
Okay.
But Aretha Franklin, that is a iconic moment in my whole history of my career. It will always be that, because she, not only was she the queen, but I understood why. When I was working with her, she didn't need the lyrics. She knew the melody, she knew the lyrics, and she knew what she was going to do with it before I even got there. These kids, they won't listen. They won't listen to the song. They don't know the lyrics. They reading off their phone. They slouching. Right. They don't. It's like I got to line by line them. She would sing it all the way down. 1 track, 2 track, 3. She would do like 7 to 8 tracks and come out and say, "Okay, see what you can do with that." I'm like,
put it on your plate. Like, all right, hey, hold that.
I'm like, and then she would go in the kitchen and cook. Like,
wait. She would let you hold something and then go cook.
Yeah, because when I recorded with her, a few of the times was in her house, because she, they just set up in her house so she didn't have to go, but she would just go in the kitchen and cook while I go through all the tracks that she just gave me and just pick out, the favorite spots and points. And then the goal was to put it together, and whatever I felt was needed, I would just tell her and she would go back in.
Oh, that's great. Oh, shout out to Aretha Franklin. Oh my gosh. All right. Before I get to I got a couple more. Before I get to that, I want to touch base right there with Aretha. So, working with Aretha Franklin, what is one thing that you can say to the people that's watching about Aretha Franklin that nobody don't know, that you know?
Yo, nobody knows this. So she was a hoarder, like not a mess. Yeah, not a nasty hoarder. She ordered off the TV a lot. She's like that, as seen on TV. But see, I am too. I'm like that too. So when I was walking through her house, she got a wig over there, a couple of gowns on the floor. Yo, no lie, no freaking lie. I was sitting at her dining room table, and while I'm talking to her, I looked down on the floor, and she had a $20,000 ASCAP check on the floor. So I picked it up. I said, Aretha, you yeah, you can just put that over there.
What?
Yo, no lie. I swear to you, I'm looking like,
I gotta take a drink to that.
I'm like, yo.
That's crazy. That's
Yo.
when you know you much money. You just got checks lying around on the floor.
I never even told that either. That's something I never even told because no one ever asked me that. But yes, no one knows that she was a hoarder. Like she had all kind of stuff that she ordered didn't even open yet. Like just a whole bunch of stuff, and it's because I recognize a lot of the stuff. So I'm like, oh, you got that off of I seen on TV. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, she was amazing, man. Like, amazing.
That's dope. That's just crazy. Me just walk and you see a $20,000 check on the floor. You're like, what the, like how much money do you
No,
have?
I swear. I looked over because I'm sitting in the dining room and I looked at her. She had a cabinet, you know, glass cabinet with her Grammys in there. So the Grammys are like tarnished, like they're not shiny and, you know, sparkly. Right. So I'm bold. I figure, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you don't ask, you'll never know. So I just was like, Aretha, can I have one of your Grammys? because they wasn't even polished or they wasn't, you know, she didn't keep them up or
just throwaways.
Yeah, it seemed like she didn't. Avery, this story is about Aretha Franklin. That was when I was recording and I was at her house. She didn't keep them. They looked like dusty and like it just looked like she didn't care. So imagine if I'm asking her and she said, "Oh, sure," I wouldn't have never known unless I asked. So I asked and she's like, "I think not." Her laugh was so funny, like it's like funny. But let me tell you something that she did do that I asked her to do. I asked her to give Trey Songz some encouragement, words of encouragement, and I asked her, you know, to record it, and she did it. So if you go back to Trey Songz' first album, the very first thing you hear, the very first voice you hear, is Aretha Franklin.
That's good. That's dope. That's incredible. I'm honored that you shared that story with us because a lot of times people, you know, they see celebrities and personalities and they don't know that these people are real, just regular people. And at the end of the day, you know, so they sharing that story was tremendous. I thank you. That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get back to the faves. All right. So like that. So what's your favorite part of the music industry?
Developing an artist.
Okay.
Developing an artist, seeing it in its raw form, taking it and really breaking it all the way down. They hate that part. Breaking it all the way down and then building it back up and then watching it just that's my favorite part.
Right. And I think me and you share that same thing because like me, I take gratification in me doing something to helping somebody else grow. Like that's the ultimate satisfaction for me. I can be spotlight. If I have information that can help somebody out, I'm gonna share that information and give it to you. And if you grow, I can sit back up and be like, oh my, like I don't know if you're familiar with this young lady, her name is Crystal Canes. Are you familiar with her? Oh, she works with ASAP Mob and stuff like that. Okay. She's pretty dope. And I found this girl, just a quick story. I found this girl on a chat line. I was young, and she was rapping. I'm like, yo, I was looking for a female artist at the time. So I was on a chat line and I found this girl and her name was Laura. I named her Laura back in the days. But long story short, she turned to Crystal Kane. She's a rapper, producer. She worked with ASAP. She blew up. But a lot of people don't know who she is because she's kind of in the backlight. But so gratification, feeling that like, yo, I put her in certain positions for her to grow and to do that. So I could be like, yo, because I know anytime I call up, yo, I know about Laura. Yo, Laura, what's up? be good. So me and you share that same thing as helping, seeing gratification, and seeing other people grow. All right, now two more.
Yes, sir.
Favorite musician, dead or alive?
Big musician?
Mm-hmm. Dead or alive?
Favorite? He's still alive, and I'm gonna have to say Jeff Lorber,
Okay.
jazz musician, because Jeff Lorber, when I was young, when I was in high school, it was his music that got me into like wanting to play. It's Jeff Lorber and Herbie Hancock both got me into wanting to like play the chords, because Jeff Lorber's chords is dope. Those of you who don't know who Jeff Lorber is, he did a song that was sampled, and that's a classic record for this particular artist that you guys know. I will play the song real quick, just the beginning of it, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, yo!" And it goes something like this.
Yes.
Now everybody knows what that is.
Hey, Charlie.
And then there's another one. Let me see. There's another one that was sampled, that somebody sampled. Let's see if I can get it. It was let's see. Now you know what that is. Yeah, that's Jeff Lorber. That's Jeff,
crazy.
That's Jeff Lorber. So so him, Herbie Hancock, and I gotta say one more, Joe Sample. Joe Sample was responsible for the person who sampled Joe Sample was let's see, it was this song, let's see. You know what that is, right?
Yo, so fake that sample up a little bit, huh?
That's Dear Mama.
Yeah, it was
Tupac.
Oh,
Huh?
this one was a tad, the original one, because Dear Mama was a tad bit faster than this one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, yeah, of course. But I'm saying that's the original one.
The original one. Yeah, who was that? Who was that? Who was this one?
That's Joe Sample. That's Joe Sample.
That's
so growing up, you know, jazz was big back then. It's not big anymore, but jazz music was really, you know, it was really big. So that's what made me want to play and learn the chords. And then R&B being my favorite genre of music, I would take those chords and I would bring them into R&B.
Shit. Listen, I feel like I'm getting a history lesson here. God damn. Damn. Okay, okay. One more of the favorite. What is your most memorable thing anyone has ever said to you?
When I was working with Whitney, I was in the studio. I was in the studio, and she came through the door. And when she came through the door, she said, let me tell you something. Riri loves you. And I'm like, what? Riri loves you. She loves you. She loved working with you. That's all she talked about. And I'm like, who? She said, Riri. I'm like, Whitney, who are you talking about? She said, Aretha.
Aretha.
Like, she said she loves you. I was like, whoa. Whoa. So that was 2003. I'll never forget that. Like she for Aretha to tell Whitney, you know what I'm saying? That's the true compliment when people are talking about you and you don't know it.
Right.
I'll never forget that. For Aretha to tell Whitney, because Whitney told her she was about to work with me, she didn't expect. I love him. I love Troy Taylor. Like, whoa, wow, that was big.
Right, and that's something that you like as an individual and doing your craft. That's something that you hold dear to because it just shows you that I'm doing something right. I'm doing that. What I'm doing something that God has told me. This is what you're doing, and people is manifesting it to everybody, and people are talking about it. So that's.
It's so funny. It's so funny. This generation. When I said Riri, the first person they thought was Rihanna.
Rihanna, right? Because they
nope.
The
original Riri,
right.
Aretha Franklin.
That's the originator. That's the originator. All right, that's what's up. All right, I got one more game. All right, now this is the game.
Okay.
This is for you now, Troy. All right, you better know your shit. This is your shit.
Okay.
All right. So first we're gonna go to songs produced by you. All right. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna give you. We're gonna go through a five. I'm gonna name a letter in the alphabet, and I'm gonna name a letter in the alphabet, and then you're gonna give me the name of the record that you produced under that letter. Make sense?
Yes, that's different. Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna go to letter G. Now, mind you, I took these from an online source. So I don't know how credible they are, but I did some research, and they are tracks that you produce. So if you say something that's not on here, I give you credit for that. But if you say one of these, then I'm like, okay, it's good too. All right?
Okay.
So the letter G. Songs, album you produce under the letter G.
You said album or song?
Album. These are albums or soundtracks that you produce, not songs. Either album or
not songs.
Not songs. That's later. I'm gonna do songs next. These are just albums or songs or soundtracks. Letter G.
The letter G. Genuine.
Okay. Any more?
Okay, wait, because you said album. Okay, so not songs, albums. Wait. No, it can't be album. Ain't too many old albums that I've done besides Trey.
All right, I pulled from this online source, right? Okay. Now, I'm gonna say these names, and you're gonna let me know are these credible or not. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So G was Good Burger soundtrack. You did anything on the Good Burger soundtrack?
I did, but I did a song.
Okay, you did a song. Okay.
I didn't do the whole album. That's what I'm saying. Like you said the album. I could go for songs. I could say Gotta Go for Trey Songz, but G, Gotta Make It.
All right, hold on. Okay, let's try another one.
Okay.
All right, how about Goon Affiliated? You familiar with Goon Affiliated? You familiar with Goon Affiliated?
No.
No? Okay, how about throw this?
There was a song probably on there that I did, but I didn't do that whole project.
All right, you know what? Look, fuck this shit. We're gonna throw this in the garbage.
No, you gotta do songs. You gotta get the letter and then you got
songs right here. I got songs.
Yes, okay. Let's do the songs.
All right, I'm gonna go with the one that you already said already. Let's see. Songs. Starting with the letter S.
S?
S.
S.
Come
on.
Do that off top. Come on.
Of course, Sweet Lady. I mean.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sweet Lady. Okay.
D. Letter D.
The letter D. The letter D. The letter D. The letter D. Oh, it's not. Oh, no, hold on. No, wait, don't say nothing. But letter D. The letter D. Letter D. Letter D. Letter D. Letter D. I don't know. What is it?
Want me to give you? Want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Dive In by Trey Songz.
Ah, dang it. Ah,
come on, Trey.
Ah, my bad. Okay, my bad. Okay. I'm slipping. Right. I slipped on that one.
All right, I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Letter A.
The letter A. No, I gotta get it. I'm gonna get it.
Got him again.
No, stop. Letter A. What?
Okay, so I'm reading the comments. Somebody said anticipation.
Well, that's the project.
You ready?
Yes.
You will be super mad again. Alone by Trey Songz. I'm telling you.
Wait, I didn't do that song though. I didn't do that. The Business did that song.
Oh, so what?
I actually wrote on it, but I didn't produce it. Henny did that song.
Okay.
So we can't count that one. I wrote on it, but I didn't produce it.
Okay. Well, the letter L.
L. Letter L. Dang. How you picking these? Because they might be songs that you thought I did, but I ain't do. Letter L.
You had a part in it.
Okay. Letter L. Nah. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, he gonna be so upset if you see this. Love Faces, Trey Songz. I'm telling. Trey and Tracy, he like, come on, Troy. What's
I'm sorry, guys. I'm
I'll give you one more. This is the last one to redeem yourself. All right.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay. Now let's see that. All right. This one is not a letter. All right. This is a number. It starts with a number. Okay. It starts with a number 2.
Many reasons.
Hey, I was like, come on, you gotta go out with a bang with this one.
Yo, that's actually a good game, and it really stumped me because I should have got the dive in. Definitely should have gotten that. Love Faces, of course, should have definitely got that. And it's so funny because they're all around me to play. I didn't want to cheat. I didn't want to cheat, but they're all around me. Because if I would have looked around it, I would have got it. I was trying not to look around. Someone said do one more.
Do one more? Okay, do one more. Letter T.
Letter T. Letter T. Wait. Letter T.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to look around. I don't look around. Touch and Love It. Touch and Love It, 2 songs.
Okay, not that one. Not okay. That's good.
Which one you got?
Okay, I got Shady. Tell Me, I'll Be Around.
Dang, come on, man. That's the early 90s. Dang it. Like that's
my questions have no year restrictions. Okay.
You're right.
No. All right, did I do that? Okay, I'm gonna do one more. This is the last one. I didn't do this one. Letter C.
Can't Raise a Man, K. Michelle.
There you go.
I was ready for that one. I was ready for that.
All right, that was our games with Troy Taylor. You got,
yes,
man, I'm trying to think, how much did you get right? How much did you get wrong? I think
totally. I failed. I totally failed.
Oh man, that's crazy. But at least the thing about this game is because I wanted to particularly to let people know that how many hits and songs that you have under your belt that even you sometimes you have so many, just like when anybody has like so many accolades, they can't remember everything. So many songs, they can't remember all the songs when they go perform. So it's like a lot of people don't know that you are responsible for a lot of these hits that is out here now. And this goes to my next question. Winning 3 Grammys, right? What was the first feeling that came out of you when he said, "And the Grammy Award goes to"? And then it said your name. What was your first feeling?
It was like being accepted. It's like being accepted to a club that you've been standing outside of and breathing on the window, wishing you could go in. And then they open up the door and say, "You want to come in?"
Right.
And you've been watching on the window, writing your name on the glass, breathing and writing your name on the glass, but wishing you can go in. And they just go, "Hey, come in." It's that feeling of acceptance.
Right. Because obviously I ain't gonna never know how that feels, but a lot of people, when, like, if you have artists that's coming up and they look at the Grammys as the be all end all of entertainment awards, and being that from the past things that's been going on, like people's boycotting the Grammys and stuff like that, like people don't really understand like the ultimate feeling of winning such a prestigious award, regardless of what's going on.
Right.
You know, the award that signifies that not only that you made it, but like you belong here. You know?
Yeah. Let me say something about the Grammys though. And Puff knows this. The Grammys is not about what song did the best, what song sold the most. The Grammy is a committee. If you want your artist to be nominated, you got to join the committee, and then you got to do campaigns throughout the year. You got to hold certain, like little brunches for the committee. You got to maybe a performance, invite the committee. If you want them to know this album or this artist, you got to do things, pay your dues. You got to do things for the committee to get your artist known. Because at the end of the year, they're going to look at it like, "Oh, yes, I remember that. We went to perform with the," and that's why we see a lot of Grammys going to artists we never heard before. Well, their manager or their team probably did a few performances throughout the year for the Grammy committee.
Right.
And that's why they chose them. That's why the Grammy committee, the Grammys is not about how many people sold the most, how many people who are popular. It's about the committee. It's a committee. And if you have to join the committee to make sure you're on the committee to say, "Hey, consider this artist, look them up," or, just, do campaigns and stuff like that and invite them. That's why it happens like that a lot. So we as a people, we don't do that.
Right. Right. I
understand. They do it. We don't do it.
Right. Right. So my final winding down time, because I know you got a lot of things you got to do. And I appreciate you for taking the time out to come do this interview with us. What is one thing that you can tell an upcoming artist coming into the industry? What is one piece of advice that you can tell them that can resonate with them through their uprising through the industry?
Well, the first thing I would say to an artist, that's one of the most important things, is it would be a question. The question would be, did you go and ask God why he gave you the gift? That's very important. We all have gifts. We all have gifts, and for various reasons. And my reason is different than anybody else's reason. But when you get caught up in the talent of it and never go back to the author who gave it to you and ask, "Why'd you give it to me?" That answer is your purpose. So that means you're not learning your purpose. You're just doing it because you're talented.
Right.
But if you ask God why he gave it to you, when he answers you, that is your purpose. Sorry, I had to get a little deep on y'all.
No, I was saying, I was like, dang,
because most of these kids, they go off their talent, and that's why they get lost.
That's very true. That's very true. Because a lot of people think talent, and this goes back to that old saying, hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. That's just That's just the whole adage saying, right?
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what is one? Okay, I asked that question again. Okay, I'm bugging. So, what is one final thought, or what is one final thought that you could say to all the artists? Because a lot of artists that's watching, and I gotta say, shout out to one of the artists that I know, P Fine. And if I could ever cross y'all paths or send you something from her, she's fucking incredible. And now I'm not just saying that because I know her, but I'm saying that because I know her music. But if there was one thing that you could say personally to the artist that's watching, to them, that stuck with you while you was coming up in the industry, that always resonated with you, that you could tell them, what would it be?
Be a master of one instead of a jack of all.
Be a master of one instead of a jack of all. I love that.
Because a master of one focuses you, and it allows you to learn how to be them. A jack of all is a scatterbrain. They can do a lot of things, but they don't know how to focus on one thing and master it. So at least get one thing mastered. You could be a jack of all trades, but if you are not a master of one, you're just a scatterbrain.
Scatterbrain. You see that artist? Shout out to Reese Raps. Shout out to Reese Raps. That's one of the artists that's out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. She be doing her thing. She moving. So shout out to her. So take heed to this advice. So my last question. Well, it's not even a question. It's just sort of you telling everybody what's the new projects that you got coming out now. I know you're working with I fuck up names, but Jacquees. I said it right.
Jacquees, yeah.
Jacquees. Okay, so I know you're working with him. New project, straight songs. So what is all the new projects that you got coming out for 2020 and beyond? What are you working on?
I executive produced Drew Hill's album. If it ever comes out, I don't know.
Wait, before you go any further, we just did a show at we did a live broadcast podcast at this home of House of the 90s, right? And there was a debate that we had when it was who was the best R&B group of that era. Now I know my man Mike probably watching this, so it was between Drew Hill and Boyz II Men, right? And I said during that particular era, Drew Hill had it. That Into the Drew album, that was one of my all-time favorites. So we had a debate about who was, doing the best group of that time. So when you mentioned Drew Hill, I just had to put that out there. Because I know my man Mike is watching. Shout out to Drew Hill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What was I saying?
Huh?
Drew Hill. Of course, Trey Songz, Drew Hill. Working under Devin Culture, developing that. Edward Beck. I worked with Next Town Down hopefully for their next project. Well, whenever this quarantine thing is over. Probably Osiris. We're preparing for another song with them, with him. Probably work with Jacquees again. I spoke to him yesterday. That's it so far. I'm missing something, but yeah. Of course, Jonte Austin. I gotta say Jonte because it's my brother. Yeah.
All right.
No.
Okay, I got 2 final questions. You got time for 2 final questions?
Yep.
2 final questions. The first final question is, who is one artist in the industry that you haven't worked with that you would have that you would have loved to work with or missed the opportunity to work with?
Well, see, that's a 2-part question because
Yes.
you got to give me who would I want to work with that I haven't worked with.
Okay, yes, 2-part question. So actually, it's 3 final questions. So yes.
Sway Lee.
Sway Lee. Okay.
I believe that if I can get with Sway Lee and do an R&B project, I love Sway Lee.
Yeah, that's dope.
I am a Sway Lee fan all the way.
Okay.
He's super, super, super talented.
So you hear that, Sway Lee? Troytaylor.
So now, somebody that I didn't work with that I wanted to work with is Luther Vandross.
Oh, Luther, man, rest his soul.
Yeah.
That's yeah. That would have been dope. Luther, I could
Yep.
see. Luther got such an, I wouldn't even say unique, intricate voice. There's certain artists that has unique voices, that has high, low, but intricate voices, it was nobody better than Luther Vandross. Like, you know, I probably was born in Luther Vandross. You know, shout out to my moms. Thank you, mom. Luther Vandross. All right, final question. I know you got to go. We all going through this quarantine time. This is why we're on this IG Live. Okay, it's a two-part question to this final.
Hey, Jay Shakir, you see this? She said, I thought the last question was the last question. I saw that.
If you fuck with NoAdvisory, this is what we do. We ask two-part final questions goes to someplace else. So during this quarantine time, one, what are you doing to stay safe and practicing social distancing? And what is the first thing you want to do after we get out of the social distancing time?
First and foremost, this is what I do anyway. My studio's at home. I don't go anywhere if I don't have to. I like it that way. I'm inspired in my home. I don't need to go anywhere to be inspired. So this is my norm. As long as my mom and my son and the people that I love are close to me are good, I'm here. I don't need to go anywhere. I really don't. I've learned, and people, you need to understand this in this music industry. I've learned how to self-motivate and inspire myself through mainly, the things that encourage me to get here. Like I can go through all the songs I listened to in high school to get re-inspired, because those are the songs that made me want to do music. So when I get a little slumped, I just go and listen to music that I did in, not that I did, but that I listened to in high school, and it brings me right back to why I want to do music. So this quarantine thing hasn't really done anything. I know that regardless to what it looks like, and all the people that close people that I lost in my hometown and that has it and hanging on and like barely making it, even though I don't like it, and even though it's really sad and it hurts, I still know that regardless, God is still in control. And so, Amen. With that being said, I have to understand that this ain't a human thing. This is a spiritual thing. So it's a thing to get everybody to knock on their door to say, hey, listen, we don't care if it was a conspiracy. We don't care if they knew, if man-made. In the end, you need to be talking to God. You need to be talking to God. You need to get right with him. You need to just go straight to him, because he said, if you know me and you come to me, I will deliver you. So it's a reset for the world. This is one thing that is not an American thing, and this is a reset for the world, because we have become we're spoiled, we're insensitive, we don't love. It's like, yo, do you ever look at the comments that people have in their IGs, like the mean things that people say, like the meanest things that people say? I know you don't like Donald Trump, but to wish death on him,
right?
Because he's in office because God allows him to be there. So you got to be careful who you put your mouth on. Pause. Who you put your mouth on. You got to be careful, because you don't know the role that a God is allowing them to play. And I'm telling you this, we may not like him, but he's causing people to come out of their comfort zone and show who they really are.
That's
whether we like it or not. Now you go, yo, they is comfortable being a racist now. I didn't even know they was racist.
And I see them. I know who they are. I can identify them. Absolutely.
They're getting comfortable. You're seeing who feels what, who, you know what I mean? Like the masks are coming off because they feel like they got a leader who represents them, and you getting a chance to see who didn't never really like you in the first place. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I know we don't like this, and I know we don't like, but you got to find the good in everything, because there is a good in everything, whether we like it or not. I'll give you an example. My grandmother and my mother raised me. My dad died before I was born. My grandmother died at 90. It was prophesied that a long time ago that she was prophesied to, that God said you can leave here whenever you're ready. You can stay here as long as you want to. Me and my mom didn't find out till at that day of the funeral, later on at the gathering, eating and everything. One of the saints said, well, Mother Taylor was ready. She said she was ready. And then I looked at my mother and I was like, Mom, did you hear that? And she was like, yeah. And so we asked the person, yeah, she was telling us all the time she was ready. Now, my grandmother would have never told me or my mother, because she know we would freak out. But when we heard that, it was like, she was ready. She went when she was ready. So, but here's the thing. If my grandmother was here now, I would be scared out of my mind. So I find myself saying, I'm so glad my grandmother ain't here.
That she was ready. That she was
ready.
Right.
It's like, wait, I'm supposed to want. No, it's selfish. If they're ready to go, you ain't sitting by their side doing everything every day with them all day. So you kind of like being a little selfish to want them to stay just for the comfortability of your mind of having your grandmother.
Right.
When they're done, they're like, hey, I done lived. I'm good. I'm out. So I had to check myself to say, even though I felt it was bad when she died, I still find myself being glad that she ain't here to deal with all this crap.
Right. And
so,
it's great. I'm glad.
No, I was done.
It's great you said that, because my grandmother, she passed a couple of years ago, and one thing that resonated me when and I looked at death a different way is when the pastor at the eulogy said, death is a new form of life. And I was younger back then, and I was like, by him saying that to me, even though he said it to me, I felt like he was talking to me, and this made me see death in a whole different scope. I was like, so now when I look at when people dying, I'm like, yeah, they're not physically here, their body, but they are still here because we just occupants of the body. The soul is just occupants of the body. So I still talk to my grandmoms like she's still here. She passed years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, grandma, what's up, grandma? I talk to them like they still here because they're not gone, because what he said, death is a new form of life.
Yeah, because like I said, we're selfish. We're really selfish. We're young, we're younger. We still got a lot of life. They done seen so much. And when they get tired, they're done. Like, no, please don't go. Don't go. So I can stay in this body, be in pain, can't remember stuff sometime. So you're asking me to stay here in this body? Well, don't you understand, if with Christ is the best place to be, here on earth is torture. Like, asking me to stay here, I know you're gonna miss me, but no, I think I want to go with God, and I'm good. Because that's the reward. This ain't the reward here. So I had to really think about that. And, like, I really had to. I would miss, of course, as a human, but at the same time, if I know my peoples is going to heaven, everybody ain't going to heaven. I don't care what nobody say. And hear me now, right now, I'm going to tell you, and it ain't no judgment. Right. Everybody ain't going to heaven, period. Everybody ain't going. So when you go to the funeral, like, he's in a better place. How do you know? You don't know. You don't know where they went. You really don't.
Like they say, like,
you don't know where they went.
And killed 1,000 people and stuff. Oh, he gonna go to heaven. I don't know about little Ricky going to heaven.
Listen, I have a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, that just died 2 days ago. Before he died, I got a chance to talk to him. And my mom has helped him, earlier in life, and he knows my mom is an evangelist, so he knows. So he didn't have much time to live, and I asked him, if he wanted to fight this, and he said he wanted to fight it. But he asked me to have my mom call him. So my mom called him, got a chance to pray with him and for him, and then got him to recite the prayer of acceptance of Christ. So now, even though he just passed 2 days ago, it's like he did it. Like, I don't have to wonder if he made it. Right. I know for sure he did. But if you don't hear anybody accept Christ, and I'm not trying to convert anybody, if you don't hear anybody confess Christ, you don't know. You just don't know.
Right. And I don't want to get too biblical, because I grew up in a Christian family, but everything is scripture in the Bible. So
It's
all of this
there.
is there. If you read it, you
Okay.
look at it.
Let's go back to the people that goes, well, the Bible is written over and about a white man. No. Let me tell you something about that comment when people say that to me. Do you really think that God would tell us to read his word and let white man or any man tamper with it? Because if that's the case, when he comes back, and he is coming back, we can stand before him and say, no, God, that wasn't in my Bible. The Bible that I had, that wasn't in it. We'll have an excuse. I will never believe that God would expect us to read his word and allow man to tamper with it. That doesn't make any sense. I get what people say, well, the Bible was written over, and it was translated. But God will not tell us to read his word, study his word, learn his word, and allow man to mess with it at the same time.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense.
It just goes back to the saying, you should worship no God but me. So why would you trust anybody else's word but mine? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. Again, I don't normally,
But it's good. This is a good dialogue because, for people that are into that realm, it's good for them to hear that, to say, okay, wow, I didn't know that, and, have a newfound perspective on, certain things, you, me, or whoever that they may deem to be non-Christianity or whatever the case may be. It's a whole broad conversation, but I'm glad.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing about it is, going back to what I said earlier about asking God for your purpose, the reason why I'm musically inclined and musically in this music industry and know what I know musically to be able to help people, get better and to elevate in their gift. But the real reason why I'm truly successful is because God has given me a platform to merely tell people about God.
Right. Amen.
That's our sole purpose. The sole purpose is to draw people to you for you to then tell them about Christ.
Right.
Be it basketball, be it football, whatever your gift is, once that light comes on you because of you're great and excelled in your gift, if you don't take that opportunity to at least tell them about Christ, then your purpose is not served, because that's the very reason why we have gifts and talents.
Right. I couldn't have ended it off any other way. Like, that was just a perfect send-off. One more time, Mr. Taylor, let the people know where they can find you at.
Twitter, I don't be on Twitter that much, and I didn't know that people really use Twitter still. I got so comfortable with IG, I don't even be on there. But either way, Twitter and IG is at troytaylor TTU.
Somebody just asked, how can they join TTU?
You don't join it, I select you. So I do look at people's DMs. I want to say this since we are on this subject. Do not come in my DM asking me to listen to your music and you private.
Yeah, that's the
I'm not accepting it. I'm sorry. Part of the reason why I want to do it is if I go to your page and I see and listen to your music and see that, don't be private, because I'm not asking you to follow me so that I can look in your thing, because if I do that, I'm going to unfollow you if I don't like what I see. And because that's everybody, you got to spark people with your talent. You got to be so on point. Don't have people go looking and listening to your music if you ain't ready. That's torture, because it's like, you know your voice ain't strong yet. You know your mix is not good. Come on, don't touch my ears are sensitive. Like, don't do that to me, please. So yeah,
I have
you can hit me up. I do go in my DM. I do check out people in my DM.
Right. You hear that? Make sure y'all come correct if y'all go on my man, Mr. Troy Taylor DMs, man. Hey, Mr. Troy Taylor, I thank you humbly.
Thank you, sir.
For coming on this platform and having this beautiful dialogue. I won't say interview, but just a dialogue between two men. It was incredible, man. I thank you so very much, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, be blessed. And thank you once again, Troy Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Sir. My man, have a good one, man. Bless.
You too.
All right, thank you. All right, y'all. That was my man, Mr. Troy Taylor, man. Another classic NoAdvisory interview with your boy 101 with CEO McClain, man. Shout out to Ray Davis, man, who set that up, man. Just shout out to everybody that has been rocking out with NoAdvisory and NoAdvisory podcast. We appreciate all of y'all. And it's your boy CEO McClain on behalf of Shy Bugs, Ash B, Petty P, P Fine, E Class, Trap Sid, Guy Makeup, Kid Folk J. It's your boy CEO McClain. It's NoAdvisory podcast. We signing off, motherfuckers. Bang!